I had to get the old vacuum pump out to get some fluid moving in this side, but once you put some vacuum to it, it came charging on out, and so it looked like it was pretty good. So we locked her down. I'm gonna go bleed the other side, and then we'll see if we've got any pedal. In the meantime, while I was waiting on that, I've got all the air box back in, batteries back in. I've got the grill tie bars, the upper and lower, and the rebar for the bumper all put back on and buttoned down. It's starting to look like a car again. Hooray! Put some vacuum to it. You can see the fluid bubbling away in there. The air bubbles are all on top. We'll let it go for a minute until the gauge on the pump goes down. Oh, it's down now. So that's good. And the fluid's still flowing. So we'll take the pump off and let it gravity bleed a little bit more, and then lock her down. So that all worked. It's all bled up good. I just went inside and pumped it up to push the pistons back out. And it's got a good high hard pedal, and the brakes apply and release. So that's good. I'll top up the fluid level here in the master cylinder. Yeah, it went down a bit. And then tomorrow we'll have a go at the back brakes. I decided the easiest course of action with the fender was to just get a little piece of metal and make a little patch and weld it in, rather than cut up a good fender on the other car, and then if it didn't work, I'd have two fenders that were no good. At least I figured if I tried this and screwed it up, I could still take the fender off the other car. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. My biggest problem now is I didn't realize I don't have any Bondo, which is kind of strange for me to not have Bondo in stock. So we're going out in about an hour to do some errands. I'll stop at Canadian Tire and grab a quart, and it should be good. Then I can get that bonded up and just float a little black paint into here and kind of, you know, buff it in so it doesn't look so bad. I just didn't want to paint. You can see the paint on this fender is not the greatest. I didn't want to change the fender and have this whole fender with gleaming new black paint when the rest of the car looks like a, you know, old black paint. So I think this will still be the best course of action, and whoever ends up with this car will inherit the good gold fender on the other car, and they can change it later if they want. Well, here we go. Now we're going to start making it look a little nicer. Got some Bondo to fix where I fixed the fender, some touch-up paint, and a headlight restoration kit. Not my first time using Bondo and touch-up paint, but it will be my first time having to go at these headlights, so we'll see what happens. See if these products live up to the hype. So the first coat of Bondo hardened up, and I've started doing the basic shaping with some pretty coarse, probably about 60 grit paper. I gave it a little touch with the rasp first to knock down the high spots, and it's looking pretty good. I'll mix up another coat and see if we can do the rest of the fill, and then a third coat for finish. Fingers crossed. I'm no body man. The second coat of Bondo, well, I left it drying overnight, so it's good and hard, so it'll sand nicely this morning, and hopefully that should get us very close to where we need to be at the end. I'm working on the old parts car over here, trying to get, there's a couple of, right inside here, there's a piece of hardware with two captive studs in it that holds the end of the bumper on. So I'm going to try and get that out because both of them broke on the good car. Unfortunately, this bumper is wrecked anyway. See, it's busted here, so it gives me a good shot to get at those, to get some heat on them. And I'll just cut the other side to get in there. The bumper's good for nothing anyway, so that's how it's going to go. I think I'll be able to save the fenders. Well, I don't know. This one's kind of punky on the bottom, but the other one's very nice. We'll see what all we could save from this. I mean, this car's got some neat stuff on it. It's a base model. You don't see too many PT Cruisers that have joystick mirrors. This one's got them. It's got, I wish you could smell inside. It even smells nice inside this car. See, it's got 251,864 kilometers on it, which is, let me see, 60, 60, and 30, so about 150,000 miles. But it's a really, really nicely maintained and clean car. But she's pretty stripped down. I've done the basic shaping and roughed it in with the coarse sandpaper. Now I'll switch to something a little smoother and start actually getting it taken right down to its finished surface. Should look pretty good. The final shaping is pretty much done now. We started with 60 grit and I moved to 180. Now I'm going to get some 320 and we'll polish it up a little further.